What's up, everybody? Today's video is going to be all about favorite side-by-side I've ever drove and owned. My 2022 Can-Am Maverick X3 XMR Turbo RR Max. My goodness, they have complicated names. I'm going to go over all the things that I like about it and some of the things that I really didn't like about it and have already improved upon. First thing I didn't like about it was the gold. So you can see I had to put a wrap on it. It didn't come with a roof or a windshield, so I've added the Can-Am Power Flip windshield and the Can-Am Sport Roof. One thing I really like about the Sport Roof is it's just 7 little quarter turn things, and you can take off the front half if you want to have some sun on the front half, not on the back half. I also added these tree kickers to it, made a little video about that if you want to check it out. I love the amount of clearance it has. These are 37-inch tires, and I took it on a lot of really high-speed trails for the Ozarks, rolling 30-40 miles per hour and hitting whoops, hitting big bumps. And you can see that's the amount of rub that I got. Now, I haven't turned up these factory shocks whatsoever. Sitting on a pretty good angle right now. I might turn them up a little bit. The suspension in this machine is next to none. I mean, you really can't even compare it to any other machine that I've owned and drove. It's the best riding stock machine I have ever been in, period. I don't understand why people even need to make it better unless they're doing ridiculous off-road racing, or maybe people that do dunes. I just do rock trails and mud and stuff like that. The front end is just absolutely wicked. I love that it comes with a winch from the factory, because you gotta have one of those. I love that it comes snorkel, just for the insurance reasons of it. You don't have to worry about your belt getting wet. If you're in water that high, then your head's already underwater, so I guess you won't really be worrying about your machine going under at that point. I love the seating position in here. You know, a lot of people complained about, you know, there's a massive blind spot because you sit so far down in the machine. I don't see it, because here I am sitting in the machine, closed door. I can see everything pretty much in front of the machine, and then I can see everything that my tire's doing over here. I am going to have to add some side view mirrors to this. That's definitely an accessory I want to add on. It did come with a rear view mirror. You see, we can see off behind us. I love the way the machine sounds. When I first heard these at off-road parks, I was not a big fan of them because a lot of people had straight piped exhaust on them, and I thought they kind of sounded like a weed whacker. But I don't know if they did something different with the 2022s, or if I'm just in love with it now because I know how much power it has. But I'm falling in love with the sound. One of my major complaints was during low speed driving, these doors would just sit here and rattle on the latches. And it was really, really annoying. But I solved that for less than $100 by adding these little door struts to it, and they hold a little bit of tension on the latches. I mean, it's easy fix. And then you got, I didn't even bother making an install video on those, because all you have to do is unbolt your top latch here, put that there, trim your plastic, and then drill one additional hole. There was a hole there already from the factory. Super easy to install. It comes with fantastic brakes from the factory. It will lock up these 37s on dry pavement, even just completely stock if you put your foot in it. The power steering is fantastic on it. You can change how much or how little. Go ahead and give you a startup. See, it's in performance mode. That's how you know that it's programmed. Well, it's in, yeah. See, there's sport mode. There's eco mode. You know that your key was programmed right at the dealer if you have performance mode scroll across as soon as it fires up, and then obviously you have that little symbol at the top for eco mode, and there's sport mode. You'll hear the engine idle up when you put it in sport mode. That's normal. Got all my buttons down here to control this guy up here. On the dash, I have my engine temp currently displayed and my belt temperature. You also have an engine temp gauge over here, and you have your fuel gauge. This is your trip odometer, or this is your odometer right here. You can see you've already got factory stuff in there for overheat, battery, oil, fuel light, check engine light, and then spot for your turn signal kit, which I will be adding eventually. Go ahead and cut it off so that you guys can hear me a little bit better. You got your winch switch here, and then you've got your 2-position headlight switch. I personally was extremely impressed with how well these headlights work. Stock, rolling through the middle of the night, you put the high beams on and you're not wanting for any more light. It's fantastic amount of lighting, even stock. I probably will eventually put a light bar on it, or at least some bright reverse lights, but I drove it through the night to help out a buddy when he was stranded out in the Ozarks, and we were driving in pitch black through the forest, and it lit up everything perfectly fine. So very impressed with the stock headlights. Got a nice little glove box here where you can store some stuff. We kept drinks and phones and stuff in there while we were driving. It does have a good amount of cup holders. This machine is an off-road machine, so yes, you're going to have noise on the inside, but it is the quietest side-by-side that I've ever drove in. Before this, I drove a Terex 4-seater, great machine, super reliable machine, but it was almost unbearable to drive on the street if you're doing 40 miles per hour. I mean, the amount of noise and cabin heat, my daughter hated it, my wife wasn't a huge fan of it, so I got this to have something more comfortable and that the family would enjoy riding in just as much as I enjoy riding off-road. Here I am trying to think of some cons for things I don't like about the machine. There really isn't a whole lot. I will say this seat, while these seats are very supportive and once you're in, it feels great, holds you tight when you're going through the turns and over bumps and stuff. You have to be careful when you get in and out, because otherwise this little lip right here on the edge of the seat, for lack of a better way of saying it, tries to widen your butt crack. It is very painful and it'll get up in there, but I've learned that if you just, pick yourself up a little bit while you're getting into the seat, it's not that big of an issue. But the first couple times, it definitely was an issue for me and my wife, and I had to warn any other passengers you were riding, hey, make sure you hike up a little bit, or else the edge of that seat will get you getting in and out. Oh, another thing worth mentioning on there, which some may see as a con, really doesn't bother me. When I was out riding late at night to save my buddy, I ended up running it really, really low on gas because he was stranded out in the middle of nowhere in the Ozarks. As I was driving back to camp, I went from 3 bars of fuel to 2 bars of fuel to 1 bar of fuel, and then no bars of fuel. And I was still about 5 miles away. I was like, oh crap, we're not gonna make it back. Well, turns out on my X3, I don't know if all of them are like this, but I do know that my 2022 is, when the gauge says that it's completely out of fuel, it still has another 2.5 gallons in there. So I really could have gone another 25-30 miles or so, because I found that I'm averaging about 13 miles per gallon with some very spirited driving. So it's just something you should know if you're looking into one of these. Yeah, just to recap, I am absolutely in love with this machine. It is the most powerful, the quietest, smoothest riding. I can't speak highly enough about it. I love it. My family loves it. It is very, very expensive. It is the most expensive side-by-side out there. Well, I say that, but then there's people out there putting 2 JZs in them and stuff. It is one of the most expensive side-by-sides out there, you know, over 30 grand MSRP. But for me, it's worth every penny. It comes pre-snorkeled, comes with a winch, comes with a amazing motor, super plush suspension. Am I going to keep modifying it and dumping money into it? Yes, but that's just me. If you were someone who just wanted something for your family to get out there and ride and for you to have a blast in, you could buy this machine, add a roof and a windshield and some tires. You don't even necessarily have to do wheels like I did. I just wanted to stand out a little bit. You don't see a lot of them on 22s without portals and all that stuff. Yeah, all you would really need is a windshield, roof, and some tires, and you could be out there having a great time. I say tires because you want to get a little bit more ground clearance because of how long they are if you do get the max. But yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely in love with the machine. 10 out of 10 will recommend. Can-Am killed it on this one just like they always do. And I hope you all found this review video helpful. All right, take care.